So good afternoon to you, and welcome to Youth Empowerment Talk Show, your most authoritative youth analysis talk show right here in Ghana, being viewed on Pan-African television. I'm guessing you are seeing me again. Yes, I'm sitting in for my brother Richmond Amofa Sapon, who is not here at the moment, and so we'll be having a discussion as usual, like we do it on Youth Empowerment Show. This program is proudly sponsored by Blue Crest University, your most renowned and last stop as far as education is concerned, Blue Crest University. And today we are privileged to be joined in by Mr. Anthony Mark-Boye, who happens to be the CEO for Creamy College. Yes, if I'm right, Creamy College. He's going to be talking to us a bit about Creamy College, what Creamy College is all about, and what they major in and what they do. We'll be zooming in on Mr. Anthony Mark-Boye exactly to tell us a bit about himself. And there's something interesting. I have a book here with me that says that trading without capital. Yes, if you can see it clearly, it says that trading without capital, and he happens to be the author of this book. We'll be talking a bit about this book, and I don't know if I should describe it as a myth, but there's been a lot of cliche and controversies surrounding the fact that you cannot start a business without capital. Some others also believe otherwise, that you can start a business with you have to start a business with capital. And so Mr. Boye is here to talk to us about it, and obviously to zoom in on all these that I have mentioned. And so once again, welcome to the Youth Empowerment Talk Show. As usual, my name is Ivan Bans Aban. Mr. Boye, Mr. Anthony Mark-Boye, welcome to Pan-African Television Youth Empowerment Talk Show.
Thank you so very much for having me here, and hello to all your viewers.
So how have you been? How's everything been like coming up with this book, Trading Without Capital? How's the journey been so far for you, in getting here?
Well, it's been a very amazing journey. It's been a very, very fantastic journey because I didn't just get up to write today. I had to learn a lot of lessons, new lessons. I have to have learned a lot of new truths, questions. So I started at a point as an entrepreneur, then I failed, then I learned a lot of lessons. I started again, then I knew how not to do it, how to do it right. So that's simply been the motivation.
I was going to ask you a bit about Creamy College.
Yes.
But based on everything you told me, it looks like you've been here already before. Yeah. You've had an interaction with that brand. And obviously, I'm thinking that might have come up, and you might have spoken a lot about your school. But earlier in your submission, you just mentioned of the fact that you had to leave banking, where obviously we are policing some people's money or the people's money, to now start up your own, business, if I should say, and you became an entrepreneur. You had to fail at some point in time, start up again, fall down and rise and all that. In your own estimation, how would you describe entrepreneurship? And this will zoom us into the major topic for discussion. How can you start up a business without money, or better still, can you start up a business without money? We'll zoom into that. Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to understand what you see, the whole issue has been this. I started up a business. I did so well. It wasn't as if we didn't do so well.
Okay.
We did so well. Then at a point in time, we realized that money was not actually the factor of the game.
Okay.
Entrepreneurship for me is blazing a trail.
Okay.
Entrepreneurship for me is walking a path. I realized that paths are made by walking.
Paths are made by
walking.
Walking.
Yes. So
explain more on that.
An entrepreneur is not someone who has seen a path that others are walking necessarily, even though that is not excluded. But for me, my personal journey has been walking a path that no one else has walked, then creating a pace, or setting a standard for other people to follow. So that's how it has been for me.
So could we also say that entrepreneurship is obviously finding out the problems in our society or our environment and coming up with solutions to solve them?
Yes, that is the general principle and general truth of success, not only entrepreneurship.
Okay.
So finding out the problem and solving it is one, but that is not all. We also have entrepreneurship being meeting people's needs and expectations. It's slightly different from finding out a problem. There are sometimes people don't know that they have problems. I discovered that also. So sometimes you have to make people know the problems they have. Sometimes also it's just about making people have their desire met. It might not be a problem. You see, the world today has become how outwardly excellent you are, how shapely you are,
That's true.
how cleverly you are, and how many digits you are earning. I had a friend who once asked me, so in what digit are you? Or what is it? What's your digit? What I'm like, what do you mean by that? The person was trying to ask, are you earning $10,000 or $100,000 or $1 million? So the world has become a world of digits, and people are touching numbers. So you would realize that it's an interesting thing. Sometimes you just have to satisfy the needs of some people. Sometimes you just have to help certain people meet their desire. It does not have to be a problem, because, well, I don't know whether problems will exist forever, and I also don't know whether one day there will not be any problem. I don't also know what philosophy or what book or what ancient text says that problems must always be there. I'm not too sure about that. But you see, entrepreneurship is more than problems. You solve problems, you meet needs, and sometimes you just give people good feelings. So they don't have any problem, but you just add to what they already have. You see, I don't know how many people would have thought that maybe 30 years ago we'll be using the technologies we are using, the iPhones and all that. The first IBM computer, I understand, was so huge.
That's true. We had supercomputers and all that.
And nobody even thought that there would be a computer. Okay, so yes, there might be a problem that computer came to solve, but beyond that, you can open a new world, create a new world where there's no problem at all. But you're just making people have a better life. You're just embettering people's life. All those things are part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's move straight to the topic for discussion.
Yeah.
How to trade without money, or better still, cash. Capital.
Yeah.
Yes. You believe that you can start up a trade without a penny?
Yes, I believe that.
Tell me more about it.
Let's deal with the words.
Okay.
If we deal with the words, then we can have a very concrete framework laying for our discussion.
Okay.
There is no business that can start without capital.
Right.
But what you call capital is a question. So this is the issue. I was studying, and I got to a point where, like I told you, I was facing challenges and I needed money. Right. So that is cash balances or bank balances, okay, bills and notes. And they were not there. But I needed to keep running. I needed to pay people. I needed to honor my credit obligations. There are a lot of things that I needed to do. So cash and bank balances were not there. But I needed to keep moving. So how do I move? So I was studying the scriptures, and I found the scripture somewhere in Genesis that says that the Hebrew children were supposed to come stay and trade to have possessions. So I got like, what do you mean by trade to have possessions? Because possessions technically is assets. Your possession is your assets, and your asset is your capital. The basic accounting equation is asset is equal to capital. If you don't have capital, you have asset. You can convert your asset into capital. If you have possessions, which is property, which is asset, you can make it your capital. You can liquidate it, you can sell it, there are a lot of things you can do. That should not be difficult to understand at all. So on a normal day, where there are no loans, where you are not owing anyone, where there are no liabilities, your possession is your capital.
It's your capital.
And I saw a scriptural truth that they should trade to have possessions.
Can humans be a form of capital?
Yes. So let me just finish this. What I wanted to say. It will answer the question. So if people who were like Jews who didn't have anything, there was famine, they had to go to Egypt and all that. There was famine. They had to move into Egypt.
Okay. Famine.
And famine, lack.
Yeah.
And they had to trade to have possessions. I got a clue there. Then I saw another scripture that says that a good name is better than riches. Riches is still possessions. Riches, if you have riches, you can convert your riches to capital. So a good name is better than riches. Then I said, what's that about? Then I also saw another scripture that says, wisdom is the principal thing. So what is in loans, in credit, principal is initial money you took as a loan for which you're supposed to plow into business and turn around. So I realized that the truths were different. But I've always had this belief and this kind of conjectures. I've had this kind of intuition that, look, the things we're told are not entirely true, because some people who are so wealthy don't know what is capital, what is human, what all these words you are using. They don't know all that, but they are so wealthy. So I realized, no, there's a difference. So I started studying. I realized that your wisdom is your capital to start with. That's why it says wisdom is the principal thing. Your wisdom,
ultimate,
yes, is a principal thing. And it is when money becomes what you took as credit to start up a business, that is why you're calling it principal. So the ultimate thing is wisdom. And I saw things like, with wisdom a house is built. What is that supposed to mean? In this our world, can you try to build a house without money? But it says with wisdom, you build a house. So I studied and I realized that, you know what? If you don't have cash or bank balances, which is money, that doesn't mean you don't have capital. You can use your wisdom to trade what you have for money. So that's basically the idea. So with my wisdom, maybe it's wisdom I have. With my wisdom, I make money. Let's make it so practical, because maybe these...
Before you come into that, let me announce the call lines. Right? So you can join in the conversation by sharing with us your thoughts and comments on the WhatsApp number 0260846539, 0260846539. You can equally send it as a text message as well, and I'll read it out to you. We are live on Facebook at Pan-African Television. Do drop your comments there. I'll read it as well. So, Mr. Anthony, you are on the floor.
Yes. So this conversation about what you have is all you need. Let me just put it this way, because it's not everybody that can understand.
What you have
is all you need to start. Let's make it that way, okay? Because
so what if you don't have?
Well, you have brains.
Yeah. So what? Like you clearly intimated, you need wisdom.
Where's wisdom
is
found?
Also as a form of. It can also be as a form of capital to be able to start up. I mean, a business you want to start. You can trade your wisdom
for capital.
For capital and all that. Okay. So what if? I mean, because at the end of the day, you need to be knowledgeable in a particular field to be able to trade it. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Unless, of course, you're trying to tell me emphatically that you lack wisdom.
You lack wisdom.
If you lack wisdom, if it's for you to answer, I have told everybody has wisdom.
Okay.
That's what I told you. You have to start with what you have. That's what I just told you. And everybody comes with an intrinsic wisdom. So if you lack wisdom, why do you want to do business? If you lack wisdom, why do you want to be an entrepreneur?
Because the reason why I made that assertion is that, people become what they are because of their environment, one, because of the kind of people they move with, two, because of their background, like I clearly intimated. Okay, I've come across people who are asking myself this question that, okay, so you say you are poor, you do not have the basic needs of life and all that. Okay, you have wisdom. You can also use your wisdom, like you're saying. You can use your wisdom to transcend or transform your life and all that. But then again, I come to understand that I cannot force them when they are not knowledgeable about what they have or what they can do. It happens to be that the kind of environment that they found themselves in growing up has been able to change the narratives or their mindset to the extent that they think I should only beg to be able to meet, to have ends.
So you are simply saying your environment and your friends and the movies you watch and the books you read can make you unwise. That's what you just said. Yes. It's philosophy. It's arguments. So therefore, choose an environment, choose friends, choose books that will make you wise.
But you see, there are people out there who clearly believe that this is how they are. Like, I mean, they have grown up from infancy to this stage and they are still how they are. They believe that this is me. I can't change what I am.
Do you agree we are saying the same thing?
I agree we are saying the same thing.
Now, we did a research on intractable poverty, dyed in the wool poverty, hard poverty, unrepentant poverty.
Wow.
Poor people are proud. Poor people don't take instruction. Brian Tracy will say, to be poor is to pass over opportunities repeatedly. P-O-O-R. Poor people don't accept challenges. Poor people don't learn new things. And poor people are greedy. These are the general qualities of poor people. So you don't expect these people to become entrepreneurs. Because to be an entrepreneur, you should be big enough to amplify somebody. To be an entrepreneur, you should be able to have enough to make somebody have out of what you have. To be an entrepreneur, you should be able to be visionary enough for somebody to be comfortable and find a space. Let's say earning, somebody should make money working with you, for instance. Let's just bring it like we are talking government talk. You understand what I'm trying to say? That's what an entrepreneur is. So those who are broke are not entrepreneurs. You don't become broke because you're an entrepreneur. You don't become an entrepreneur because you want to make money. You don't become an entrepreneur because you want to be rich. The conversation is higher than that. And as the inspiration mounts with time, I will explain all those things for you.
Okay. Now, I mean, forgive me, but let's look at this argument from this angle. Okay?
Yeah.
Like you're talking about entrepreneurship and all that.
Yes.
Okay. So, an entrepreneur, obviously, like I said earlier on, needs human resource.
Yes.
Right? Needs, and this is not part of the whole argument, but I just want to have your take on it.
Yes.
An entrepreneur needs human resource to be able to generate capital,
Yes.
to be able to run or sustain the business.
Yes.
That is clear. We can establish that.
Yes.
But you see, people become poor not because of the fact that they don't have wisdom, or people do not earn the necessary or the requisite amount they're supposed to earn, not because they don't have the basic fundamentals or the basic wisdom to be able to get to that point to have money, like you said, to become rich as an entrepreneur. No. Do you not think, and for me, that's what I think, that sometimes people who tend to become the CEOs of certain companies, who are obviously running a company, a huge multinational organizations and all that, tend to exploit the people who are obviously the workers to be able to sustain a level of, if I should put it, wealth. Do you not think that happens sometimes?
Let me beg your question before I answer you.
Right.
In this context, begging your question will be the answer.
Okay.
Do those who exploit, do the employers who exploit the employees, exploit them at gunpoint?
No. So thank you very much for this very one. I like this. They do not exploit them at gunpoint.
Okay, so
but at the end of the day, they are not able to get what is due them at the first place.
no, it's a simple question I ask because I'm going to answer your question by begging your question.
No, they don't point gun at them.
Yes.
But I feel that
It's an acceptable exploitation.
okay.
Or you allow yourself to be exploited because you don't have any option. And I'm saying that the one exploiting you is wise. The word is smarter.
But you see, at the end of the day, yes, to be able to, like, again, I understand that
Yeah.
the one who's exploiting you is smarter because
Yes.
he's been able to put up certain resources together and, as it were, get to a point where he feels that he's the boss or the CEO to be able to get what he wants.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah.
We can agree to that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, too, I'm saying that these people in question, do you get it? To be able to be smarter, because at the end of the day, they are the ones producing the phone. It is not the CEO who's producing the phone. They are the ones producing the tablets, the Macs, and all that. Their hard work is what gets the CEO or gets the boss to exactly the point as he or she is. And I'm saying that at the end of the day, if you're talking about everybody reaching its peak as far as riches is concerned, or as far as everybody getting whatever is due them is concerned, and in this case, we talk of equality and equity is concerned. At the end of the day, I feel that these people also are supposed to get what is due them. Because if you check the whole statistics very well, clearly, you will come to understand that the kind of profits the CEO makes is not as compared to the kind of money the worker or the employee is getting.
And you can't change some of these things because
Do you not believe that the system that we operate is just being unfair to the working class?
yeah, that goes to the normal everyday discussion. That goes to become the normal television conversation, the system. At the end of the day, you feel like we can even blame government and all that. But my interest in my authorship is to make you learn how to fire your boss successfully if your boss is exploitative, and start afresh and survive. We cannot just always curse the darkness and talk about what's wrong with the system and all that without talking about how to correct that situation. Let me give you an example. When I was in the bank, I decided to resign. Again, it's purely, the motivation is purely wisdom. As I studied and I read, I asked questions. Why should I be on a salary that is about, let's say, let's say less than 3,000.
Because your effort you put in is worth more than the salary you get.
And somebody comes and banks and basically bullies everyone, including the MD, because he's signed a check of 30 million and that money is not available on the counter and we have to negotiate and do all that. I've seen all these things before. So I started asking a question. So my issue is, I don't have a problem with my boss, and I don't have a problem with an exploitative board, and I don't have a problem with an exploitative system, even though it is a problem. Life itself is not fair. Okay, so I am not going to allow myself to be that kind of person that is at the unfair side of life. I just decided to cross the street and move to a place where I can start something for myself. So that is my motivation. I agree that all these things are there. But again, if you are wise and you want to use the word smart, because when you see trading without capital, some people think that this is a hash puppy concept. This is a smartness concept, how to make quick money. No, that's not the idea. We're talking about something that is sustained, something that is gradual, something that is procedural, and something that will last. Entrepreneurship itself has types. Okay, so if you don't take your time to completely appraise the whole concept and understand the whole concept, you will bemoan the situation. You will talk about what's wrong with the system, yet be trapped in that system. That's it. There's no equality anywhere. Not even in communist China or in Russia.
Oh. Yeah. You believe there's no equality everywhere?
No.
Do you not believe that, equality can be practiced when it starts from us, when we begin to have a different perception about life, when we begin to start changing the narrative, there could be equality and obviously to a larger extent equity as well?
He said he gave gift to men. He gave gift to men. He gave some apostles. He gave some prophets. And everyone who is born with a gift. He gives freely. Everyone has a gift. And because your gift is different from my gift, we are not equal. And again, this is a controlled discussion. We're talking about entrepreneurship. So I'm talking expertly. I'm not just talking about, I'm talking about fundamental human rights. I hope you are getting what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the sovereignty of the law. I'm not talking about rule of law. We are talking about business. There are wealthy people.
I know you've spoken about what prompted your decision to start the trading without capital. But if you can go ahead, if you can speak deeper about the concept behind the trading without capital, so that people can understand you clearly.
Very well. Interesting. So now what we are looking at now is that I've heard and I've seen a lot of people.
Right.
Now, mind you, I'm a pastor. I pastor people, and I regularly have people coming to me. I don't have money to start a business, because their idea of capital is seed money. Seed money, the cash or bank that you will use.
And that's what people think.
That is just that.
Give me something to start up a business.
Yes. Now, then I also have seen wealthy people. I can't mention names, but I can describe them, and I'm very, very doubly sure of what I'm telling you. Okay. People who were wealthy, they died and left assets, properties, and wealth to their children. After 6 months, all these things were dissipated. You found some of their children in Venice. You found some of them in Dubai, living all that kind of life, because they do not have the wisdom for wealth. I've seen people who say, I'm resigning, I'm starting my business, I've saved some money. They work in the bank, they had so much money. Then what do? They buy a huge executive office there. They have an office suite. Then they make themselves CEOs. Then they get a secretary there. And they don't know how well to jump. And they don't know how well to play by the rules. And after some time, they've liquidated. If you remember, the president, former president Kufuor, brought an idea called the golden age of business in 2000. There were businesses everywhere. Every 40-footer container was a business. Everywhere was a Barclays bank branch. And we saw that boom, boom, boom to become so many schemes and banks and microfinance companies and all that we saw in this country. And there was somebody licensing them. There was a central bank licensing all of them. After some years, the same central bank went closing all of them down, because the licensor lacked the wisdom to regulate the space. And those who were entering to the space in that kind of clerky, murky, and cloudy competition, all the people who were entering that space also lacked the wisdom to play in the space. Okay, so though people had money, you know them. I don't want to mention companies. They had so much wealth. Then all of a sudden they liquidated. So why would you come tell me that I need capital to start a business when somebody has so much wealth bequeathed to him, and he still, at the end of the day, became penniless? It's a very practical truth. So therefore, we emphasize wisdom, but that's not all. There are very innovative ways.
So let's look at it. How do we make wealth? Let's give some points. Because I'm sure people are getting interested in what you're saying. How can somebody start up and say that, okay, fine, I do not have seed capital to start up a business, but yet Mr. Anthony has made us clear that you have the wisdom bank that could be turned around to become, what you call it, a capital as a starting point to be able to, as it were, run your business and all that. So I'm sure you are interested. You want to know how you can make, or how we can make wealth. So, Mr. Anthony, can you help us? Let's list. A, you can make wealth by A, B, C, D. B, you can make wealth by A, B, C, D. Let's look at that.
My brother,
because it's getting interesting. I'd love to have one of these books to read for myself.
Yes, you have.
And also look at it and look at how best, I can also share this idea with people and all that. Because I feel that if we all can share these ideas out to people there, I'm sure people can understand how some of these systems work and how they operate, and they could have a change of mentality and mind.
Okay, when you bless the idea that wisdom is the principal thing.
Yes.
When you bless the idea that God did not make an employee. When you bless the idea that God didn't make anyone who is poor, just as you rightly said in another way. Environment, friends, upbringing, culturing made you what you are. If you accept that, then you start engaging with wisdom.
Okay.
All right. I know a man. He was an entertainer. He used 2 dogs, and it's in the book.
Okay.
A black dog and a white dog to entertain. He was very wealthy. And what was his strategy? Okay. And I mentioned a very important word. What was his strategy for making wealth? He will feed the black dog, okay, very well, and underfeed the white dog. And when it comes for his shows, he asks people to bet. So when you bet, the bet is that which of these dogs are going to win. And this is the man is in a white community. And in a racist community like that, everyone believes that the white dog
is more superior.
So will be the black dog.
Yeah.
But he has malnourished or undernourished, if you like, or underfed the white dog. So they bet. So when you bet and you mention an amount of money, and you bet that the white dog is going to win, okay, then he bets a higher amount. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's it. Because he knows the strategy behind the business. And it's a game, it's an entertainment. So the 2 dogs begin to fight. Every day he wins. Because it takes so much money from the people. That's the bet game. And at the end of the day, he knows that one of the dogs are malnourished. I hope you are listening to me. So that's it. So it's like lottery.
So
it's not fraud. You're just smart. Now, wait. Because when I say these things and I go to places, then the questions come a lot. Because then they attach your personality.
Yeah.
That's a pastor. They go like,
exploitation
yes, they go like, why would the pastor say such a thing? So, and who says that every business does not have trade secrets? And who says that business and making money has got anything to do with pastor? There can be an Alhaji that is heavily and deadly wealthier than the so-called anointed pastor or Christian in that era, because we are talking about world economy. My brother, you asked me an important question. You're talking about wealth, which is a secular phenomenon. You're talking about money, which is a secular tool. I hope you're listening to me. So wealth has got nothing to do with morality. And the only thing morality contributes to the wealth creation process is it makes your wealth to stay, because scripture says riches have wings, they fly away. So if you don't play by the rules and if you are not moral, then riches will fly away. But the strategy itself, which is still a question of wisdom, you have to have a strategy. There are several innovative ways of getting money to do your business. You can use your integrity. You can use your integrity to raise money. You can use your natural skill. A lot of us, we're moving into areas that we are not skilled enough. Just natural. Bukum Banku, let me call him now. Who is he and what does he do? And he's made it. And there are several people who are entertainers, actors, and all that. They just didn't have to go and read tool or read skill. They just had to develop what they had naturally. Okay? But when you have a problem with identity, we call it identity crisis, and your status symbols are wrong, and you think that a car, a flashy car, and you think that putting on a tie is what makes you a CEO. That's kind of wrong idea. Or you want to be like another white man. If you thought wrongly what you had in school, that white collar job idea, you thought that that's entrepreneurship, then you are just wrong from the very beginning. You want to be a boss so that you have a secretary, and you need to be subordinate to subordinates. If you have that idea, all is wrong. Innovation is part. You can just trade what you have. You can use deals. There are huge individuals who just make money by using deals. They don't have property, but they know where the properties are. They don't own aircrafts, but they know where the aircrafts for sale are. They know the best prices, and they know individuals who are wealthy enough to acquire aircraft, and they ensure that where the aircrafts are gotten to those who need the aircrafts, and they make millions by the day. So those are deals.
Okay.
Those are deals. So you can have a chief there, and he has so much property all over the place, and he does not know how to sell these properties, how to make the properties look credible. You who have credibility can ensure that you give value to those properties, and you make so much wealth, even more than the owner of that property. That is another way of making wealth. I hope you are getting what I'm saying. Okay. Yes. So it's a discussion that we have to do in a very relaxed mode. It's all wisdom. Talk about banks. They use heist. H-E-I-S-T. It's in this book. If you want to understand this, you can get the books. I think that's just so simple. You know, originally, how did banks start? The central bank, how did it start? It was just an act of parliament. Let there be a banker of bankers. Let there be a financier of financiers. I hope you are listening to me. And this bank is formed. And as soon as the bank was formed, how did they make their money? They gave license to commercial banks, what you call in those days universal banks. It is still paper. Licenses to go to the public and raise money. So the people do the working. Then they come and save their monies. Then they also take reserves and give to the central bank. Then the central bank licenses them to charge when they want to. Have you realized that you can use an ATM card and you deduct an amount of money without you signing an agreement with them? Meanwhile, it's implied in your account opening. The laws regulating banking make it so. Have you realized that you can issue a check in those days on current account, and at the end of the month, money is taken out of it? They call it COT, Commission of Turnover. They call it maintenance allowances and all that. This is madness. Then they tell you, save for the future. Save for the future. Meanwhile, they themselves don't save. So you put your money in bits, then they gather your money and give it out as a loan to another person who is actually wealthy.
So culture of saving.
Then they, like Susu concept. Then when you come, this penny pinching concept, Susu concept, you contribute money for 30 days. They take one out of it because they told you that you say they are again, let me use the word, policing your money for you. Meanwhile, you have given them enough money to trade and to give to other people as loans, and they charge interest on it. This is a very powerful scheme of wisdom. Very, very powerful scheme of wisdom. And it's the same way government runs. The same way government runs. Very powerful scheme of wisdom. So we have to be patient to understand again that it all starts from wisdom.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Let me take some messages that have come in.
Yeah.
This one says that, good afternoon, Pastor Mark.
Yes.
I remember when I used to worship with you in Block Factory.
Yeah.
Hachu. As you speak, I see Pastor. Okay. You don't talking.
Yeah.
Oh, so they are, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So they're not seeing the pastor in you as you speak.
He's trying to say that he's seeing the one who trained me in me.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
This says, good afternoon. I am in the person of Rabbi. I understand that wisdom is the principal thing. One mistake. Okay, let me take it again. Good afternoon. I am in the person of Rabbi. I understand that wisdom is the principal thing. One mistake things most of the youth are it's a principal thing. One mistake most of the youth are doing is that they don't start by themselves, but try to copy, and also they don't believe in themselves. What do you have to say about this? He's making an emphatical statement about the fact that, like you clearly said earlier on, people see certain people that have made it in life and wearing the suit and the flashy cars and all those
status symbols,
and they also think it's like that, and so they also want to emulate that form of characteristics, and they get it all wrong.
Yes, and they don't start with what they have. You know, have you realized that the wealthiest man in the world wears something that my grandmother used to call sweater? You get what I'm saying? But you see a young man who has just started making some little money and it's all trendy suits. It's wrong. You understand? It's wrong. Because if you have a wrong idea and they think that they were broke, so they want to be wealthy. That's what happened in the banking space. And I was part of that.
Okay, so this one says that, good afternoon, please. I'm Bright from Ashaman, HND accounting holder, without job. Here as the case. I want to read this message, but it's not too clear. Here as the case, I wish to start up a business, but I don't have a capital to start. He is an HND accounting holder.
What we are saying
is the wisdom. So I don't know
the accounting he has.
Is the wisdom.
Start teaching. You can own a school. Unless it's not an HND accounting qualification.
So let me take your thoughts on this.
Start consulting.
So you just made a very important point right now. This is a guy who has an HND in accounting.
Yes.
Who has no job.
Yes.
And he's seeking for your advice.
Yes.
Now you said that the HND, in everything that you have said, the HND in accounting that he had gone to school, spent a lot of money to do.
Is a capital.
Is a capital. Is a wisdom he can trade to get something done.
Yes.
Now, you see, and I don't want to go back to the system again.
Yes.
But this is a man, I'm sure if he was here, he'll tell you that he has tried all means and possible means, everything to get a job, but he's not getting. Or better still, to start something for himself, but it's not working. Yes, he has an idea in accounting and all that. But we have a system that does not even give you that opportunity to be employed, to be able to gain requisite fund for yourself or move on. Now that option is exhausted. Now starting something for yourself as a businessman or as an owner of a business or starting up a school. Before you can even start a school here in Africa, okay, let me not use Africa, even in Ghana, you have to go through a lot of processes to get your school registered. I'm sure you might have gone through that same process, getting the accreditation, getting the Ghana Education Service to even, give you thumbs up that you can go through the system, or you can even have a school and even educate people. It's a whole lot of system. You even have to pay huge sums of money to even get your school registered or even get accreditation and all that. Right now, it's about who you know and all that, and what you know and all that. I don't know this. I'm sure he might have gone through all these processes and all that.
I don't know why you really believe the negatives so much, and you are so vocal about it. You know something? I have an uncle. Hold on. I have a very, very wealthy uncle. Okay. That's the wealthiest man I know in this part of our world. He was a teacher, and he was posted to teach in a village somewhere. He says, no, I'm not going to teach over there. And I'm not saying that teachers are not doing a good job. God bless all of them. But he says he can't go that far. So he decided to use his senior level, GCO level accounting to help Unilever. Yes. So helping them with records, those days rolling the ledgers and balancing the accounts and moving about. After some time, they gave him a car. He didn't start with salary. He's very wealthy now. You see something? Until you become brutally sincere with yourself, that it is your sole responsibility, and it is just your sole responsibility to be an entrepreneur, you are not ready. The word entrepreneur is entreprendre in French, and of course when you go to Latin and all those, that's the etymology. According to Jean-Baptiste Say, entreprendre is to dive out and to swim at a goal. So if you are not ready to dive out, you understand, to dive into water and swim. Okay, if you are not ready, if you don't have that spunkiness, that strength, if you don't have that kind of fortitude and readiness to do something for yourself, you are not qualified to be an entrepreneur. So if you are still talking so much about this HND and all that, then he is not willing to be an entrepreneur. He is willing to be an employee.
Okay, thank you.
So you should keep searching.
I'm just sorry when you said that I believe so much in the negatives and I'm being vocal about it.
Yeah.
You see, I'm just trying to be the mouthpiece of a lot of people out there who probably might not have the understanding maybe myself and you have.
A lot of people cannot be entrepreneurs.
And I asked this question because some problem might be there. But what he's saying, I have tried A, B, C, D, and it didn't work for me.
My brother.
So I want you to, answer that question, not specifically.
No, we are just talking.
Yeah.
I'm putting it to you that those lot of people you are representing cannot be entrepreneurs.
I'm sure they want to get inspired by this.
You listen to me completely. I said that those so many people cannot be entrepreneurs. You see, success is like a triangle. So many people, undecided people, distracted people are at the base of a triangle.
Yeah.
Those who are ready to
top.
bite the bullet and those who are ready to call the shots are the ones who gravitate to the top. So the principles are principles that you have to believe and work with. I am saying that if I had HND and I had no one anywhere, I don't believe that, who did I know to get here? I hope you are listening to me. I would start with what I have. So with that HND, help people do their accounting work. Help women who are making losses. Do you know how many people believe that you cannot be an absentee manager? You haven't heard that before. I cannot open a business, I cannot start a business and leave the place. So you see them opening the place at 7 o'clock and staying through till 7:30. These are powerful shops because they believe that when they leave, someone will steal. They don't understand controls. They don't understand monitoring. All the things you went to learn in school, if they don't employ you, just employ yourself. Get busy today helping somebody solve.
Not necessarily wanting to even get money out of it.
You understand? These powerful arguments you are making, which are representing the powerful population, okay, they are the normal arguments that made us poor in this part of our world. I call it intractable poverty. Do you know that, let me say something, you are a media person. In the morning, how many channels do you have talking about business news, discussing this thing? Everybody be saying the same thing. Making noise from the morning to 10 o'clock. You don't have devoted channels for things like this. How many people will see that this conversation is a good conversation? Let's push this conversation to a national limelight. Let these things be the mainstay. I've been places I've traveled. If you say Donald Trump is coming to National Theatre, okay, and you say Steve Jobs, when he was alive, is coming to International Conference Center, that place will be packed first. Where the richest man in the country is going to, that's where the crowd will be. This part of our world, everything you have to do it for me, system must do it for me, you understand? And those people who we think are running the system are just fooling us because they know that we are not smart enough. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, let me ask this question. There's this question here. It says that, how can one know more about this new concept of trading without capital?
Buy my book and pay for it.
You should buy the book and pay for it.
It's as simple as that. They go to creambooks.com, creambooks.com, CREAM books, BOOKS.com, or I can leave my number before the show ends. And you call, if you're in Accra, Greater Accra, we'll deliver the book to you. And we are not doing this thing for money at all.
Is it? Can anybody get it in a soft copy?
Yes, it's at creambooks.com, creambooks.com. cream as in cream.
So you can speak to the camera.
Yes, creambooks.com, CREAMBOOKS.com, or you can just call me on 020,000 2210. That is 0200002210. 0200002210. And again, we are not doing this thing really because of money, but we cannot supply the whole nation without you doing something. So it's as simple as.
Okay, so let me take this message. This one says that, hello, I'm really enjoying your show. I want to start a printing press and an internet cafe business. I already have the space to start, but how to acquire the computer, printer, and others is the problem. How do I channel or tap into your resources to get these necessary gadgets to start? Thank you.
There are very, very easy financing techniques. It's also a book.
Okay.
Yes, I have it.
You wrote it?
Yeah, I wrote that book. Yes. Okay. So
the next time you come, you just bring it. So
you need that book. We call something factoring.
Okay.
There are factoring processes. There are people who have those things, whatever they are, printers and all that, and no one is buying them. I know people personally. Now that doesn't mean I'm going to help you personally, but I know people personally who have opened shops and brought these things, imported these things from Germany, UK. You know those kind of business. They have closed those shops. Those things are there. Get your idea, write it out, write it on a sheet of paper, a simple plan. Tell this person, I have office space. This is my office space. This is where you will find me. I am credible, okay? Supply these printers. Every month as I do my printing, my photocopy, my lamination and all that, I pay you this amount of money. There is no problem that comes your way in business that you cannot solve. The problem itself is a solution in disguise. Every problem of an entrepreneur has an intrinsic solution within itself. And if you want to learn, you take your time and learn. Go out. There is no entrepreneurial problem that cannot be solved by another person. Because another person is there looking for someone right now to pay just 5% and 5% so that becomes a regular stream of income. So you have to keep moving and asking questions. You see, so these are the, you say how to make wealth. That is one of them. You can do factoring, you can use high purchase arrangements. You understand? These things are all there. Okay. So please, you people give us time and space to say the things that will change society, okay? And not just be blaming the system. Because the people who are running the system don't even know, I mean, they don't know anything even about the system. I'm telling you the truth. You understand? It's just megalomania. It's just a utopia, illusion. Okay, so your final words to the people. We are behind time. We should have enough time and bring you in and have this proper discussion. And my final word is I'm done. The book is available. If you want to know more, just get the book, and I'm sure there's no too many words to say about this thing. One principle is enough to make you successful. Okay, so I think we are wrapping up. But this is an interesting message. Police are finally, I'm done. It was good after to say. I have 1,000 Ghana cedis. Is it possible to start a business with it and become successful? Yes. I think 1,000 Ghana cedis is too much. How much would Facebook have started with? It's too much. A domain name, okay. Yeah. A domain, buy a domain. 60 Ghana cedi can buy a domain, even 50 cedi. Domain is expensive now. Because you don't understand it. I do that. I know what I'm telling you. With 150 Ghana cedi. So the people exploit me all the time. Of course, they are exploiting me. So that's what I'm talking about. Exploitation. Because people they are smarter than you are. It's not about being smarter than me. Because they want more money, they would rather exploit the system if you knew how to get more money from me than have an equality. If you knew how to use your own card, credit card, to buy a domain, are you getting me? And do your own hosting, you will not talk like this. You understand? So that's a lot of money. Thank you very much for your time. I mean, we've learned a lot. I'm sure you've learned a lot. This is the book, Trading Without Capital. Obviously, if you enjoyed this section of the conversation, well, you can continue by reading more. Trading Without Capital. You can get it in some outlets. I think he's putting a number across. You can call in and get more of this. And I'm sure he has a lot of books that will obviously change the. You should WhatsApp the number. Yeah. You should WhatsApp. Kindly mention it again so that 0200 Okay. That's 20,000 0200 Okay, or simply go to creambooks.com. Yeah. So like you heard it from, simply go to creambooks.com and get it for you. This is where we wrap up today's edition of the Youth Empowerment Talk Show. My name has been Ivan Bans Aban, and I've been sitting in for my brother Richmond Amufa Sapon. We'll come your way same time tomorrow. But until then, do not forget that Constituency Connect is coming up shortly at 5 p.m. with myself and Ivy. So do enjoy the rest of our program. It's bye for now.